Thank you, Reggie. Thank you, ASAE. Good morning, everyone. As Reggie said, I'm Gary Frankhart. I am the VP of Sales here with JL Systems. And with me today is John Danforth, the President and CEO of the organization. And as Reggie said, also George Miller. They're just on here probably towards the end to help me maybe with direct some questions as well. But today I am going to be showing off our Aarwin MEP system, and MEP is the membership engagement platform. As I transition my slides. Move this over here. So what I was going to do today really is just start off, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen or my monitor or video, and I'll come back on here at the end to answer some questions. But what I want to do is start off this morning with asking a few questions, and I'm not asking you to answer these questions. Just keep them in your head as I go through today, because it really is to set the tone of the presentation. So how many of you have a smartphone or tablet device? And how many of you use that device to digitally socialize, thinking LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and such? Okay, how many shop using the app on your device? Thinking of Amazon, they've trained us very, very well. How many use apps for services and companies that they do business with? And that's, you think news, thinking your insurance providers, cable TV, things like that. When was the last time you turned your computer on to just log into one of those sites? I, for one, I'll still grab from my phone, even as I'm sitting here at the computer. I'll grab from my phone to launch the app, because apps are just faster. They're more convenient. And think how many of you've launched at least one app on your phone today already? So consider that in 2019, the average US adult spent time engaging with their mobile devices roughly 3 hours, 45 minutes than they did watching TV. 20% of millennials, they open an app at least 50 times a day. The Gen Zers spend 20% more time in apps than the rest of the population. 85% of mobile users, they prefer and are more comfortable with apps than mobile devices. So this is the differentiator, and quite frankly, the driver for the Aarwin membership engagement platform, or Aarwin MEP, you may hear me say, or Aarwin MEP. But we know that revenue is down. We know that sponsorships are down, and we know that fundraising's down. And we have the answer through the Aarwin membership engagement platform. So what is it? Aarwin membership engagement platform is really made up of 3 pillars, and I'm going to show all 3 at a super high level today. It's the Aarwin AMS, the Aarwin Web, and the Aarwin app. The Aarwin AMS is what it sounds like. It's the back office staff interface. The Aarwin Web, it's the traditional member portal. The Aarwin app is the reason I previously asked those questions. The Aarwin app is downloadable from your Google or Apple stores, but it alone can help you increase your join and retention rates, your member satisfaction, and the overall member engagement. Using the app can increase your fundraising efforts. It can increase your sponsorships, all driving an increase to your bottom line. So if you don't have a member app, you're not maximizing your member engagement to its fullest potential. And we can show you countless studies of how companies use apps to increase the engagement, and you should be too. So let's take a look at the app. Apps that send push notifications from the start will get a 18% higher day 1 retention. And then by day 14, that retention can go as high as 62%. So consider donations. Push notifications are a perfect example of a way to generate anywhere between 10 to 20% of additional revenue by targeting members at the right time in a personalized way that can encourage more donation dollars and give your members an additional sense of belonging with the organization. A research study showed or revealed that 84% of millennials made charitable contributions in 2014 and 70% volunteered their time. Imagine what it is now. Millennials love to make a difference and be a part of something bigger than themselves. So if you're not engaging where they spend most of their time, you're missing huge opportunities. And I haven't even mentioned the Gen Xers, right? You can send notifications for membership renewals or membership drives. You can send conference notifications, reminders that a registration isn't complete, or if your organization, if you're an organization that's involved in the medical or educational or first responder vertical, a real-time push notification can be extremely helpful for informing your members of available supplies and or vaccination locations for the COVID-19. And I think we can all agree that is a very relevant topic. Time-sensitive notifications make a world of difference and engagement. A very recent example actually is one of my colleagues. He was actively enrolling his 83-year-old mother in various medical sites, probably in a neighborhood of 7 different sites, trying to get her on a COVID wait list to only receive, and you guessed it, 0 updates after enrollment. So he just so happened he had his personal email open and saw an email come through with the notifications of 130 available vaccinations with the time slots for the following week for appointments. The appointments were first come, first serve. Now he got lucky because he saw the email, happened to have the email open, and was able to get her on the list, get her first shot, and she's due for her second in March timeframe. But just think of how many people missed it because it went to email instead of a device that they have with them almost all the time that buzzes, dings, and grabs the attention. So hopefully you can see immediately just how push notifications can increase your member engagement. But let's take a look at a high level view of a member profile. Now, you have control of the app, the look, the feel, your association logo will be up here, your colors. You can have the scrolling marquee. This is an opportunity for advertisements, sponsorships. You can use it, you can not use it, totally up to you. Below this line at the bottom of the screen, there's another opportunity for additional sponsorships or advertising on here, but you have complete control of this. The app acts like a hub. So we've heard from my previous colleagues here, a lot of talk around APIs and integrations and such. Think about the app as a hub, and we do have integrations. We have an API library, as well as an SSO library. So you can have any of these icons, managing the member profile, registering for events, taking donations, things like that. But it also can be linked out to a communications site, right? Whether you're using Breezio or Higher Logic, it could be an LMS and integration too. So you can use this system really as a hub with the API and with our API library. So I'm going to pick on John today during the demo here. So I've logged in as John. Here's his unique ID. We see his title, and we also see an outstanding balance of $350. But let's look. So he's going to go in, and we can just quickly look at his member profile, or he would be looking at his member profile. He can see his membership information. He can see and manage his phone and email communications, his governance. So it defaults to the all in all positions, but he can look at his current committees that he sits on, his past committees. He can look at them and filter by positions that he's held. He can look at, update, and manage his demographic information from this profile or from the app as well. You can dig in even further and allows to take even more actions from here. So I mentioned that I think it was $350 balance. He can look at his sales history. He can pay invoices. He can take action on those. He can manage the opt-ins, opt-outs. Everything that the member can do on the web, they can do in the app. So, and actually, probably a good jumping off point. I'll go out to the app, and as I transition out to the app here to the member facing profile, our web portal is responsive design. So if the member decided they wanted to log in and use a mobile device and log in the traditional way, it is responsive design, so they could do that if they wanted to. But for today's purposes, this is the traditional login view. John logged in again, picking on John. He can see his membership information here as well, managing his demographics. Now, earlier in the app, we also could have the access to the membership directory. So over here, these account actions, kind of similar to what we just saw in the app, right? When I clicked on the ellipsis, but keep in mind all of these different account actions, they're going to be able to do, or they can do, using an app. So if we look at just thinking, and oh, by the way, we do manage both professional associations as well as trade. So John could affiliate himself, he could manage the employees, so on and so forth, all from within either the app or here on the membership, or on the web portal. And we can look at a membership directory here, and it can be filtered by last name, first name, whatever it is, the state, the country. You can get granular. You control how this looks and what the membership, or what the members can look and search for. And I do see some questions coming in. I'll address them there at the end. But what I also wanted to do is talk about that join renew process, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to start with a conference view just to set the tone here. So whether it's a join renew or an event registration, it's driven from a process. So this was a simple process. And this is for the member, when they log in, they can see that, hey, there's 4 steps in my process. I'm going to show you from a join here in a second. John's, if you notice, the membership is current, and this particular organization doesn't have open enrollment just yet for renewal. So the conference, now he's at the registration, he can quickly pick. Now you can define what this process looks like, but here the form will update dynamically. So here, hey, he's going to register for this conference. He could pick and choose additional events within, and they could be paid, they could be free, whatever the case may be. We can go through in the process, go to now the meeting questions. You can define what the questions are, and think this is all available also on the app. But you define what these questions are. You can make them required, not required. I pre-populated these things here, but you can go through and so you define what you want to capture, right, from the meeting questions. Now, donations. So, and I might have mentioned earlier, we have customers, just by using these forms and using the app, has increased their fundraising efforts 10 to 20%. And that's just by asking for donations and making it simple for them to make the donation. This is a simple form. It can be individual dollar amounts. It could be percentages. They could make a pledge, whether that's monthly, quarterly, annually, whatever the case may be. They could even maybe make a donation to a specific program, right? And then the next one would be your T's and C's for the submittal. So a nice simple form. Super simple, quick to register. We can register individuals, we can register groups, we can register multiple people, all within the system. So now, as I looked at that process, here's a join process as well. Similar, but they're asking to update the demographic information. Here's the dues. Now they happen to offer a 1 year or a 3 year, but why I like to show this is because the form will dynamically update, right? So if they select a 3 year, all the prices change, and and reflect what that pricing is. Same with down here. Did someone refer you? And I love that they ask this. If I click the button, no, nothing happens, but yay, yes, boom, who referred you? Because they like to send out thank yous and things like that to their, maybe they're maybe they're running a, giving an end of year award or something like that. But my purpose here is looking at this process. This is a little bit of a different process at the bottom of your screen. So, we just went through the membership type. Now, the next phase, I'm not walking you through all this, but the next phase could be updating the subscriptions or for confirming your different subscriptions, publications, things like that. Back to, through whatever your process you want the process to look like, we can support. And we do support multi-day conferences, whether that's, single day to 5-day, whatever, individual webinars, things like that. So the system's pretty dang powerful across the board. So now what I was going to do, so that is that's the second pillar, right? So we saw the app, and I consider that the first pillar. Well, for today's purposes, the second pillar was the web. Now I want to transition over to the AMS component. This is the third and final of the entire platform. And you keep in mind, you get all three of these with the platform. And what I just wanted to do here is just start with the depth and breadth of the ability of the search for any of the records and the different ways that we can search in the system. It's extremely deep from that perspective. We even have that dynamic typing or type ahead functionality. So it's recognizing that, oh, hey, do you want to, you might be searching for Danforth. Why? Yes, I am. And so the type ahead functionality, which I find quite convenient for myself. So as we look at John's record here, again, just a quick view. This is what we call our summary, and this is the AMS, the back office staff view. But this is our summary screen, these boxes, and it looks and feels kind of similar to what we were just seeing in both the app and the web. But we can quickly see, and I do say this is truly a 360-degree view of a member. You can get to any of their information or a record information with minimal clicks. Typically, it's just one click, but you can quickly see all of that profile information here. We can scroll, we see the contact, we see his phone, email, demographics. There's that governance again. But here in the back office, we now have the notepad functionality, and this is that's our activity tracking. So when I'm making the outbound phone calls and I want to track that activity, or maybe assign one of my colleagues something to do, this is where we would do that within the notepad functionality. And again, that sales history piece of it. And it's your traditional AMS. So I shouldn't say but it has your member record management. It has your events management. It has the reporting capability. It has everything you would expect an AMS to have. And we can get to, from a profile perspective, we can get to any of his information and manage his information just from these quick little drop downs, nicely categorized, simply categorized to quickly get to, especially when I'm on the phone with a member, right? So I mentioned the events. I just wanted to show you a high level. I know I'm talking extremely fast, but from an events perspective, we have the ability to manage the event. I just said it a minute ago. You can manage a webinar. You can manage a 5-day conference in the system. We can integrate to a CVent or one of the other event management or exhibit management solutions out there. Again, leveraging our deep API SSO library with the system. So I wanted to just pull that out. From a reporting perspective, we have hundreds of base reports that come with the system. And I don't know, probably upwards of 800 or more just out of the system, but it does have a pretty deep report querying capability, ad hoc reporter as well, where you can build any number of different reports and define what you want to use those reports for, whether it's just a simple list. Maybe I want to export it out to a third-party email program, or maybe I want to use our bulk emailing capability that comes with the system, and I want to email the newsletter out through through the Aarwin MEP solution. So you can do deep reporting with the solution. So I'm not sure how we are on time. I think we've got about 10 more minutes, but that from a high level perspective is really what I wanted to show. And so I want to pull up in closing here and if you want to request a deeper dive demo, please go to the website arwinmep.com and request the demo. But thinking about now what I started off the presentation with, and the Aarwin membership engagement platform will help you increase your revenue by increasing the join renew rates, the sponsorships, the fundraising, and more with just that app alone. Remember that customers engage more with mobile apps than the mobile websites. You can advance, or you can't really advance your business today without a mobile focused approach to your members. I'm thinking about the several statistics that I presented today, the saying that it's an app world and the web just lives in it, that rings true. So with most associations revenues down from last year, Aarwin's also redefining your AMS investment and what that should look like. And so does your current AMS charge for additional support? Do they charge for upgrades? Do they charge for disk space? Do they charge for records? Do they charge for users or admin users? We don't. We don't charge for the records. We don't charge for the users. We don't charge for support. That's right. All of this is free. It's included with the low-cost annual subscription. If you've answered yes to any of the questions, then you need to strongly consider an alternative solution. An alternative solution is the charges are unnecessary these days, and they're becoming a thing of the past. And finally, the implementation, it's user-driven. There's no need for developers. In fact, the system can be live within 30 days of the start. So let us help you win and retain more members. Let us help you increase your donor contributions. Let us help you engage with your members. Let us help you increase your revenue. Let Aarwin MEP be the pillars of success. So that was the presentation for today. Let me jump back on video here. And
Gary, thank you for that. There is, I do see one question here.
Okay.
To you, sir. It says this solution seems suited for enterprises. Can our MEP be also tailored for nonprofits, professional, technical associations?
So interesting enough, it's actually it's designed more for the smaller association, but as we've gone through, we've realized that yes, the enterprises can actually use it because it's extremely scalable when you consider that we don't charge for records and users and things like that. So we've got customers from 1 to 2 staff and generally to the 10 to 15 staff. But I would say yes, enterprises can use it, but it is very much geared for the smaller association. And as I mentioned, we work with the trade associations, we work with professional societies, we work with across the board.
Good.
And I don't mind even kind of throwing out there the cost, and this is all for less than 30 grand a year to put it out there. So subscription based and the low cost implementation as well. So really year one investment and year over year, less than $30,000 a year, you get all of that. You get all 3 platforms or pillars.
All right, John, Gary, do me a favor and put your contact information in the chat area so people will have that as well, if they want to connect up with you, sir.
I will do one better, and I meant to, hold on a second. I'll put up my contact slide.
Alrighty.
Well, I thought I was going to. Let me get to the end of it. There you go. All right. So there's my contact bottom left. John and George's are up there as well.
Good, good.
Really, Reggie, thank you for doing this. This is awesome, and hoping that absolutely some interest in additional deeper dive demos. We have to kind of go quickly, but give you enough to see that the breadth of the solution.
Good. So thank you for that, sir. I'm going to release you guys from your duties. Thank you again for being here.
But I was having so much fun.